Howdy folks, hope you're all having a good one. Welcome to another episode of Mingles with Jingles. I've had a pretty busy week and I'm about to have an even busier one. Things have been a bit rushed around here the last couple of days. Mostly because we've just had a new addition to the household. More on that in a moment, however. First, let's have a quick word from today's video sponsor. I'm very happy to announce that today's video is once again sponsored by Saily. Saily is a eSIM service app brought to you by the people behind NordPass. You can choose from several affordable eSIM plans in a growing number of countries and regions. And with a Saily eSIM, you'll always have a connection when you need it. If you've ever been abroad or badly needed an internet connection with no Wi-Fi spot in sight, you'll understand what a difference a local SIM card can make. And with one download, the Saily eSIM provides you with that local internet connection wherever you travel, saves you money on roaming fees, and you can have it installed and ready to go before you ever even set foot in your destination of choice. Which means no getting ripped off by unscrupulous dealers or standing in line jet-lagged in foreign airports waiting to buy a local SIM card. And amongst the many benefits that Saily offers, potentially one of the best is that there is literally no downside to any of this. There are no upfront charges. Saily app, which you can get by either scanning the QR code that's appearing on screen right now, clicking the link in the video description, or just making your own way to either the Apple or Android store of your choice, is 100% free. There are no subscription charges. The only thing that you pay for is the data that you need. And if you use code Jingles at checkout, you'll get an extra 15% off even that. And as an unexpected but not unwelcome bonus, as a viewer from the Czech Republic pointed out in a previous video, he can actually get a better data plan from Saily than those that were being offered in his own country by local service providers. So even if you're not planning on going anywhere, you might want to check Saily out anyway, because you might be pleasantly surprised. Right, that's the bills paid. And now on to the news. I mentioned we have a new addition to the household. Don't worry, nobody's pregnant. Not that I know of, anyway. And the reason why I'm going to have to keep things a bit quiet, because we have a new cat. Ordinarily, this would be the point where I'd show you some video of him, but we have literally just arrived back from the foster home. His name's Nino. He's a very distinguished but very shy gentleman, which is why, I don't want to stress him out. He's actually here in the room with me. I don't think the other two cats are aware that he's even here yet, because I haven't seen hide nor hair of them since I got back in. They got very suspicious this morning when I was getting the cat box ready. It's like they know. I went upstairs to make some coffee before we hit the road. And Akazuki, of course, saw me going upstairs, so she was chirping and trolling up the stairs with me, and then she ran onto the cat island and started going meow meow, meow meow meow. Where's my snacks and treats? Come on, human. Meow 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 meow. I went into the storage cupboard, I came out with a cat box, and she went meow meow. What's going on? I was like, no, you're not going to the vet. But I am going to need the cat box. It did shut her up, though. They both knew something was happening. And then my neighbour, Sarah, who has two cats of her own, two beautiful girls called Sophie and Willow, she drove me up to the foster home where we took delivery of Nino. He's a rescue cat. Super affectionate but very shy. Not great around new people, very nervous. So it's been a very, very stressful day for him. And it's going to get even more stressful because he's going to meet the other two girls first, or before long. And I know Akazuki does not like new cats. So to that end, like I say, I've actually got him here in the room with me. And I can't show you video or pictures of him, although that will come in the future. Because I've got a huge, I hate to say this, but I've got a huge cage. Like, it is massive. And there's a little cat bed in there for him, food, water, a scratching post, a litter tray. But it's multi-level. And I put a blanket over the top of the cage just to give him some privacy so he can go somewhere safe to hide. And that's exactly what he's doing right now. He's on the top shelf. And I can't actually see him, but he can obviously hear my voice. And, well, we're going to have to basically keep him in this cage for as long as it takes for the other two cats to get used to him. And for him to get used to them. So there's plenty in the cage that smell of the other two cats. The little cat bed, for example, Akazuki uses all the time, so it's going to smell of her. And the cage is right next to the chair that Juzi sleeps in all day while I'm in here on the computer. So before too long, They're probably both asleep. I haven't actually seen them since I got back. Before too long, Jusie's going to take her regular spot in the chair. The cage has been up for a couple of days, so they're used to it being here in the room. But she's going to know something ain't right. So there's going to be some hissing and growling and spitting at first, which is totally natural. But just for his safety, he's in the cage for the next couple of days until the other two get used to him and he gets used to them. And then we can start letting him out. But he is a beautiful, affectionate boy. I really wish I could show you some pictures of him, but, well, he's feeling a bit threatened at the moment and stressed out. So he's in the cage and he's hiding under the blanket that I've draped over the top of the cage to give him some privacy. So we're now a 3-cat household. It's nice to have another male in the house. I've been feeling a bit outnumbered the last couple of years. But that's Nino, and there will be some pictures and videos of him coming. As soon as he's up to it, basically. So hopefully within a few days. I was originally going to put him upstairs in the lounge, next to all of the cat toys and stuff, and the litter box and so on, but I basically spend my entire day in this office in front of the PC. And I really didn't want him to be alone up there the whole day, because he's got to get used to me as well. And I mean, if he's down here in the same room where I am the whole day, he's going to get used to my voice. He's going to get used to my presence. And the other two cats tend to hang around me the whole day as well, although I'm a bit suspicious as to where they are right now. Like I said, I haven't seen them since I got back. And it just assists in the process of him getting used to the new household if he's not on his own the whole time. Plus, I mean, you know, I want him to get used to me too. So this is ideal. So, the other big news that I had is, I mentioned, if not last week, then the week before, because I'm in the enviable position of being somebody who plays games and records video of games for a living, I can get a new PC and write it off as a business expense against tax. And with the RTX 5090 allegedly becoming available at the end of January, bit of a paper launch, but I was able to book, isn't the right word, I was able to pre-order, a new PC built around an RTX 5090 that would be built as soon as they had the parts in stock. Well, in the middle of the week I got an update from the retailer that the parts are in stock and the system build was beginning. And then yesterday I got an update from the retailer letting me know that it had been built and it was now in stress testing and quality assurance. Which may mean that by the time this video goes up on YouTube, I'll have a new PC. Of course, then you've got to go through the whole process of setting it up and transferring all of the the useful stuff like all of the video intros and background footage and so on from one PC to the other. And it's never fun setting up a new PC, but it is a bit of a beast. I know somebody's going to be asking me what the specifications are. I'll try to remember. Surprised that I was actually kind of surprised and kind of not surprised that I was able to get a system with an RTX 5090 in it, because they're basically impossible to get unless you want to pay double price on eBay from the scalpers. But in my experience, you see, you can go to a retailer and you can order an RTX 5090. Or you can go to a retailer and order a pre-built PC, or I'll say pre-built, built to my specifications, built around an RTX 5090. Now, either way, you have to wait until they actually get the cards in stock. But once those cards are in stock, if the retailer has the option of using those cards to sell like just the card to somebody who's sitting around waiting for one, or sell the card and an entire PC to somebody who's been sitting around waiting for one, the guy who just wants the GPU and he's done is probably not going to be at the top of the retailer's priority list. And I think that's why I was actually able to get this thing built as quickly as it has been once the cards were in stock. So about those system specifications. Now remember, it's built around an RTX 5090, so I need a powerful processor because, I mean, in the past, things like the RTX 4080 and the 4090, they've basically been CPU throttled. Like the bottleneck wasn't in the graphics card, it was in the system CPU. So to that end, as well as the RTX 5090, the processor is a Ryzen 7 9800X3D. Yep. It's on an X870 motherboard which means that it supports ultra-fast DDR5 RAM, and I'm getting 64 gigabytes of 6000 megahertz DDR5, all paired up with 8 terabytes of SSD. I've actually got two 4 terabyte SSDs in this thing. It is an absolute beast of a PC. And it was eye-wateringly expensive. But that's kind of the point, because the more expensive the PC, the lower my tax bill is going to be, because it's a business expense. So there is a method to my madness, and I'm probably not going to need to upgrade this thing for many, many years to come. The 8 terabyte of SSD storage was a priority, because I mean the PC that I'm recording this on has 2 terabytes, and I thought at the time, 2 terabytes? Nobody's ever going to need that much. Yeah. So yeah, the 8 terabytes of storage space is definitely there to future-proof me, as is of course, you know, the amazing Ryzen 7 9800X 3D processor, which is the best CPU that you can get, and probably will be for quite some time. For gaming, although not the best for video rendering. I mean, unless you're using something like DaVinci as your video editing and rendering software, most software doesn't actually use your graphics card. It's all processor intensive, and for that end you really want something. I mean, they don't get much faster than a 9800X 3D, but it only has 8 cores. The more cores the better, but it's still a good CPU for rendering video, as is that 64 gigabytes of RAM. So it's still going to be an upgrade as far as video rendering and editing is concerned over the system that I currently have. But as far as gaming performance is concerned, it's going to be an absolute monster. In fact, I don't even think I really need it, because if you look at it's a bit late now, it's already been paid for and built. But if you look at the sort of things that I play, I mean, you don't need an RTX 5090 and a 9800X 3D for World of Warcraft. You don't need it for World of Warships. You don't need it for World of Tanks. The other stuff that I play, well, I'm getting quite into Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 at the moment, but that performs very, very well on even old hardware, mostly because it doesn't require ray tracing. It's based on I want to say an old graphics engine, a proven, reliable, optimized graphics engine. Getting some amazing reviews, by the way, the game, not the graphics engine. But there's pretty much nothing that I actually play right now that actually there's nothing that I play right now that requires the RTX 4080 that I currently have in my existing PC, other than maybe Cyberpunk 2077. But I've played through that at least 3 times and done Phantom Liberty twice. I mean, it's not like, basically the only time I fire up Cyberpunk these days is to record a bit of background footage from Mingles with Jingles. I can't wait to record some background footage for Mingles with Jingles on the new system, and the frame rate's going to be off the chart. Oh, it's nice to upgrade your PC, even if you don't actually need it. But you know, the fact that this thing is a business expense does allow me to enjoy lower taxes in the next financial year. So I'm certainly I'm going to take it. I'm quite happy to take it. Anyway, fingers crossed everything goes according to plan and it just works out of the box. I mean, it should. It's been in stress testing for 3 days now. So they had a couple of extra days over the weekend because they're not going to ship it out over the weekend. Oh, I hear one of the other cats. That sounds like Juicy helping herself to the dry food from the feeding station in the hallway outside, which means she's probably hearing my voice right now, and she's going to come in to say hello and take her usual spot in the chair, and then realise, hang on a minute, who's this stranger? So that should be interesting. I'm pleased that Nino's, I mean, because I'm sitting here talking into the microphone, it's just getting him used to my presence and the sound of my voice, because he's going to be hearing a lot of it. And he's been very quiet. He was very well behaved on the way home. He didn't cry. He wasn't, I mean, obviously he was stressed out because he's been living with the foster family for quite some time, and he really started to get used to them. And now, of course, his whole life's been uprooted again, the poor thing, and it's going to take some settling in. And a lot of that is going to depend on how the existing 2 cats react to it. I think in the next couple of minutes I'm going to find out how at least one of them reacts. Juicy's got her face in the feeding bowl at the moment, by the sounds of it, but yeah. So this might have to be a quicker than average episode of Mingles with Jingles, depending on how this this introduction goes, because you've got to be careful when you introduce cats to each other, because they usually are hostile at first, until they sort out the pecking order and decide who's boss. But by all accounts, Nino is a very, very friendly boy. I mean, male cats tend to be more affectionate than female cats. I mean, my two do show their affection, but they're not particularly touchy-feely. Every now and then I just get this urge to pick Akazuki up and give her a cuddle, and she doesn't like it very much, but she tolerates it. I'm not dumb enough to try to do that with Juicy. I'd get scratched. They're very affectionate, but on their own terms. I mean, Juicy loves being brushed, Akazuki loves being scratched. And when I go to bed at night, they both curl up with me, each in their own spot. From what I've seen of Nino, once you earn his trust, he is very affectionate. He actually likes to cuddle. He'll climb up onto your chest and start making biscuits, and rub his face all over your face. I mean, and my girls don't do that at all. Nino does, however. It's probably not going to happen for a few days, maybe longer. But, I mean, you know, I'm giving him a home for the rest of his life. I'm in it for the long haul, so I'm prepared to wait. They don't call me the cat whisperer for nothing. Which is weird, because I was never into cats. I thought cat owners were mugs. And they do actually call me the cat whisperer, by the way, because for some reason cats love me. Don't know why. But even though I didn't like cats, cats loved me for some strange reason, which was kind of frustrating because they wouldn't leave me alone. I was always of the opinion that cat owners were idiots who were just being taken advantage of by their pets. And if the cat was big enough, it would slowly torture the cat owner to death just to see what kind of sounds it made. I loved dogs. I still love dogs. Dogs are fantastic. Dogs are amazing creatures. Dogs love everybody. That's why dogs are fantastic. Cats, not so much. You really, really have to earn a cat's love. And that's why cats are fantastic. But I'm in it for the long haul here with Nino. I'm giving him a home for the rest of his life. Oh, Juicy. Juicy's investigating Nino's cage. I don't think she actually realises he's here yet, but she's thinking, hang on a minute. There was no water in this bowl last time I was here. What's going on? She's having a good investigate. The cage has multiple levels. I put a blanket over the top to give Nino some privacy on the top two shelves. That's where he is at the moment. He knows there's another cat in the house. I don't think Juicy has realised yet. Oh. Things may start getting loud in a few moments. I might have to put this episode to bed early. We shall see how it goes, but for the moment we'll carry on recording, as long as things are quiet. You might even be able to hear Juicy poking through the bars at the water bowl. And I'm going to try to get some video and pictures up of Nino as soon as possible, but I don't want to stress him out. He's had a rough enough day. He's probably going to have a few very rough days as the other two cats get to know him, and I certainly don't want to put any additional pressure on him. So when he's ready, I'll get some video and pictures up, because he is a very, very distinguished looking gentleman. 5-year-old. He's not a pedigree, but there's definitely some Bengal in him. You'll understand when you see the pictures. He's quite big as well, which is good, because hopefully it means he isn't going to get pushed around by Akazuki. I'm not so much worried about Juicy, because it's one of the reasons why I wanted to get Nino, because of the age that he is. Akazuki just turned 6. Nino just turned 5. So they're both more or less the same age. And the problem is Juicy. I mean, she's not a problem, bless her, but she's 14 this year, and she's an old girl. And she just can't put up with Akazuki's shit. Akazuki's still a young cat. She likes to play, and Juicy doesn't. And they can fight when Akazuki's pushing her luck. Juicy's definitely trying to get that walk bowl. Juicy, what are you up to? Stop it. Hey. Leave Nino's stuff alone. Oh, anyway. So basically, I wanted Nino as a playmate for Akazuki. Somebody to match her energy. Because Juicy isn't it. Like I said, she's an old girl. And she just likes to sleep. Lie around all day and get brushed. And 14 years old, I mean, I hate to say it, but she ain't going to be around forever. And I don't want Akazuki to be alone when Juicy inevitably dies. And I hate talking about it, but you've got to be realistic about this. I mean, Akazuki's 6, Juicy's 14. That's a hell of an age difference. So I'm kind of future-proofing here by getting Nino at the age that he is. You can definitely hear that, can't you? Jizzy, you've got your own water bowl. What's so special about Nino's? Jizzy still hasn't realised that he's here. Nino knows that she's here, though. Curious to see how they react to each other. Anyway. Yeah, so that's the situation. As far as videos are concerned, we've got Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Obviously, there's always going to be World of Tanks and World of Warships content. There's plenty more Indiana Jones and the Great Circle to come. Astrometica is kind of rapidly approaching its conclusion and also isn't, because while I have completed the extent of the early access build of Astrometica, there's not that much video left to put up onto YouTube. So we're kind of coming to the end, but also it's early access and they're developing more content to finish the game, so there's going to be more. I'm not quite sure how I feel about doing video coverage of early access titles like this in the same way that Subnautica was, because on the one hand the developers want you to, because you know they don't have a marketing budget, and word of mouth like this is exactly what gets people interested in the game. But at the same time, once the game actually comes out, I've already played it and you lot have already seen it, so the whole early access thing, bit of a double-edged sword really, but I suppose, you know, for an independent developer it's kind of a necessary evil, because without the early access they wouldn't be able to get the game made in the first place. And then of course there's always, well, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, which is astonishingly good and is enjoying rave reviews all over Steam. And because it's well optimized and uses an old and stable graphics engine, you don't need an RTX 5090. In fact, you don't need an RTX anything to be able to play it and have it looking really, really good. So let me know in the comments, would you like to see a playthrough of Kingdom Come Deliverance 2? Because I've only just started playing it. I'm a bit crap, but I am very, very much enjoying it, and it is amazingly good, so let me know. And fingers crossed that getting Nino introduced to and accustomed, and vice versa, to Akazuki and Juzi isn't going to take more than a couple of days. Hopefully less, but fingers crossed. We'll see how it goes. In the meantime, I hope you've all had a great weekend. And as always, take care, and I'll catch you next time.